Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today, because we're looking at a piece of source material that is, well, it's literally unlike anything we've covered before. You know me, I usually love taking those massive, dense manuals and breaking them down into clear pieces for us. But today the challenge is completely flipped. We aren't looking at some 1,000-page technical document. Instead, we're examining this profoundly minimalist, 5-word inquiry. It poses one of the great mechanical questions of our modern age, but leaves the answer entirely provocatively up to our imagination. So we're launching into a deep deconstructive inquiry of this specific phrase today. Are you ready?
Okay, let's dive into this. Our entire source document for today's explainer consists of just these words. Read them with me. How to make a motorbike. Just take a second and let the gravity of that wash over you. No punctuation, no introductory paragraphs, no table of contents. It's just a raw, unfiltered expression of human curiosity directed at this super complex machine. It's the kind of question that sparked 1,000 grease-stained weekend garage projects, right? But presented here, in complete isolation, it carries this immense, almost staggering weight.
Now you might be wondering, okay, where are the blueprints? Where are the torque specs for the engine block? But honestly, that's the absolute genius of this text. It's a total masterpiece of extreme brevity. The author has handed us the ultimate avant-garde mystery. By flat-out refusing to provide the answers, the text elevates itself from a simple how-to guide into this profound conceptual inquiry into creation itself. The lack of text? It's not a mistake, it's a feature. It's framing that empty space as a blank canvas for our own mechanical aspirations. We aren't being handed the answers, we're being invited to contemplate the sheer magnitude of the question. And this brilliantly illustrates the underlying tension of the phrase. If we split our source text right down the middle, we uncover this fascinating dichotomy. On the left side, we've got how to make. This is pure intention. It's that primal human drive to construct, to take raw materials and forge them into something way greater than the sum of their parts. It is all about action and agency. Then, on the right side, we have the subject and the ultimate result, a motorbike. Think about the massive scale of that. The complex thermodynamics, the heavy rolling steel and rubber reality of a motorbike. The text takes our earnest, simple human intention and places it right up against this incredibly intimidating, highly engineered final object. The distance between that left side and the right side, it's just vast.
Let's move to and see how this builds sequentially. Because if we actually treat the literal grammar of the phrase as our procedural manual, this distinct step-by-step structure emerges. It's kind of fun to dissect the linguistic progression here. Step 1 is how. This is the search for the method, right? The conceptualization phase. Before you even touch a wrench, your mind has to grasp the how. Then, step 2 is to make. We transition from thought into action. This is the physical labor, the assembly, the sweat, the spark of creation. And finally, step 3, a motorbike. The tangible, roaring outcome of those first 2 steps. It's incredibly structured when you think about it. The source text gives us this perfect, logical 3-step procedure, even if it entirely skips over the physical materials you'd actually need to pull it off.
So, what we're left with is this beautiful mini-narrative hidden right there inside those 5 words. Looking at these underlying elements, we're basically seeing the story of an unanswered quest. First, we see the search for method. An author, or honestly, maybe all of humanity, searching for the secret knowledge of engineering. Next up, the desire to construct. Notice it's not just what is a motorbike, it's how to make one. The active participant wants to bring this thing into physical existence. And finally, the mechanical ideal. The motorbike stands there as this ultimate symbol of freedom, of engineering perfection, of momentum. The text doesn't tell us how to build a bad motorbike, or even an okay one. It just says, a motorbike, leaving that perfect mechanical ideal totally intact in our minds.
So the crucial point is right here in this specific fragment, make a motorbike. I want to just isolate this phrase for a second to emphasize the sheer, honestly intimidating ambition packed into these 3 little words. Look, making a cup of tea is one thing, making a paper airplane is another, but to make a motorbike, that implies mastering metallurgy, combustion, electrical wiring, fluid dynamics, the whole shebang. The absolute audacity to just state, make a motorbike, as if it's some breezy afternoon craft project, that is exactly what makes this source material so incredibly captivating. It's raw, unbridled ambition, completely stripped of any practical doubt.
But of course, we absolutely have to address what isn't there. The space right after the phrase. The vast, unwritten void of the actual process. Just think about the silence of that unwritten manual for a moment. There are no chapters on welding a frame,
There are no diagrams of a carburetor. There is literally just an empty space where all the mechanical instructions should be. By stopping exactly where it does, the source material turns the complete absence of text into this profound philosophical observation. It reminds us that between the spark of an idea and its physical realization, there's this massive void. And that void can only be filled by human ingenuity, trial, and a whole lot of error.
Which brings us right back to where we started. The core, looping question that's going to echo in the minds of anyone who reads our source document today. How to make a motorbike. By providing literally zero answers, the text ensures the question remains eternal. It leaves us lingering on the mystery of the missing instructions, sparking our own curiosity and leaving us hungry to figure out the rest entirely for ourselves. And maybe that's the most effective way to teach someone after all. Not by handing them the manual, but by giving them the ambition. So, I'll leave you with this. What is the metaphorical motorbike you've been putting off? And are you finally ready to figure out how to make it? Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible deconstructive journey today. I hope this explainer left you as fascinated by this minimalist masterpiece as I am. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next one.